Hello friends, this is Netrali Patil from Arihan College of Arts, Commerce and Science, Bavdhan, Pune, Department of Computer Science. Today we are going to learn about Computer Science Paper 1, Chapter 1 Operating System. In this session, we learn about file organization, multiprogramming, scheduling, priority, scheduling philosophies, multitasking and time sharing. Let's see one by one. First one is file organization. What is file organization? The main important function of file system manager is to organize or systemize all the data in order to enhance total system performance and efficiency. Okay. Files can be systemized or organized by two ways. First one is sequential file organization and second one is direct file organization. What is sequential file organization? The basic operation of file organizations. Sequential means one after another. The records of files are stored in physical order one after other as you are created. Okay. The order is same for writing and reading. That is, you have no choice to change reading order of records. There are different advantages of sequential file organization. First one is the next record physically resides after the previous one. So separate pointer is not required to keep the track of records while reading them. Second one is unidirectional access is provided. And third one is this is device independent. So any of device can be used to organize sequential files automatically. Portability enhances. And the disadvantage of sequential file organization is, if you want any record, then you must always start from first record. When desired record is found, you can read record. You cannot directly access a particular record, so it is time consuming scheme. That's why this is disadvantage of sequential file organization. Second one is direct file organization. What is direct file organization? In order to overcome the main disadvantage of large access time and inefficiency in sequential file organization, the concept of direct file organization is developed. Direct file organization access the records through records physical address on a direct access storage device. The advantages of direct file organization are, any record in the file can access randomly and access time is minimized. And the disadvantages are, as the physical address is to be generated automatically, processing time increases. Second one is the mechanical movement of input output devices is more. Possibility of poorer utilization, and we cannot be stored on sequential access devices like magnetic tapes. That is, it is not device independent. Okay. Next one is device driver. What is device driver? Device drivers are software programs required for each device, and each device will require different drive for different device as per functionality. And the device driver knows how the buffers, flags, register, controls and status bit should be used for a particular device. Okay. Next one is terminal I/O. Means terminal hardware can be divided into two parts. The keyboard, which is used for input medium, and video screen, which is useful as an output medium. Combination of these two is termed as VDU. There are two terminals, dumb terminal and intelligent terminal. What is dumb terminal? It can have a microprocessor inside it and limited memory. It is responsible for the basic input and output of characters. And what is intelligent terminal? The terminal can processing on the microprocessor, so it requires more powerful hardware and software for it. Next is multi-programming. What is multi-programming? In earlier days, the computer system were very costly and CPU's idle time was more. For increasing CPU utilization and for reducing idleness of CPU, multi-programming is used. It means several processes appear to run simultaneously. Then degree of multi-programming means the number of processes running simultaneously competing for CPU is called degree of multi-programming. Okay. And second one is context switching, means in multi-programming at a time multiple processes are running simultaneously. Suppose there are two processes, process 1 and process 2. Then there would be time lost in turning attention from process 1 to process 2. This is called as context switching. This is the diagram for context switching. Okay. Next, process states. Operating system defines three basic process states as given below. First one is running. Running means a process which is executing is termed as running process. In multiprocessing, there will be many running processes and operating system will have to keep track of all of them. Ready process means what? A process which is not waiting for any external event such as input output operation is said to be the ready state. And block means process which is waiting for an external event such as an input output operation, it is said to be a block state. Okay. Next one is scheduling. While scheduling various processes, there are many objectives for operating system. To choose from, some of the objectives are listed below. First one is fairness, means it refers to being fair to every user in terms of CPU time it gets. Second one is good throughput. It refers to the total productive work done by the users put together. Next one is good CPU utilization. It is the fraction of time the CPU is busy on an average with the user processes or the operating system. Next one is low turnaround time. It is the elapsed time between the time a program or job is submitted and the time when it is completed. Okay. Next is waiting time. Waiting time means it is time job spent waiting in a queue of the newly admitted processes in the operating system to allocate resources to it before commencing its execution. And the last one is good response time. Now the next point is priority. When number of processes are competing for the same available resources like CPU and memory, then the concept of priority becomes useful. The priority can be external or internal. First one is external priority, means the user specifies it externally at the time of initiating the process. If user does not specify any external priority, operating system assumes a certain priority called default priority. Okay. Second one is purchase priority, means in this priority, higher priority process is charged at a higher rate to prevent each user from firing his job at the highest priority. Okay. And in internal priority, It depends upon scheduling algorithms. Next one is shortest job first algorithm. The job whose expected time for completion is less is completed first. Due to this, the number of processes competing for CPU will decrease and number of satisfied users will be increase. But if a number of small jobs are coming, it will cause large jobs to suffer as they are postponed. And the last one is expected remaining time to complete means it is variation of SJF algorithm. It is same as SJF at the beginning, but as process progress the time will change. At regular intervals, operating system calculates the expected remaining time to complete for each process and uses this to determine the priority. Okay. Next one is scheduling philosophies. There are basically two scheduling philosophies, non-preemptive policy and preemptive policy. In non-preemptive policy, a running process retains the control of the CPU and all the allocated resources until it surrenders control to the operating system on its own. And in preemptive policy, a preemptive policy allows higher priority process to replace currently running process even if it has not requested for any input output or its time slice is not over. It requires more context switching in preemptive policy. Then next one is multitasking. Multitasking means a task can be defined as an asynchronous code path within a process. In multitasking, a process can consist of multiple tasks which run simultaneously, and multiple tasks should be able to run concurrently within a process. Okay. See, two tasks are defined within the same process as shown in this figure. They run concurrently within the same process if synchronized properly. Generally, task is encapsulated between task end being and task end statements for task end. Okay. And the multitasking allows more flexibility and improves CPU utilization. It reduces the overheads of context switching at a process level. That is the advantage of multitasking. Next one is multi-threading. Means this is a process is divided into threads. It is same as multitasking where a thread is same as a task. Each thread for a process has program, counter, stack and register, save area, but it shares same address space with others. Okay. Next one is time sharing. Time sharing means time sharing refers to the allocation of computer resources in time dependent fashion to several programs simultaneously. It provides a large number of users direct access to the computer for problem solving. This is accomplished by providing a separate terminal to each user. All these are connected to main computer. See in this diagram, multiple users are connected to a single terminal. Okay. In time sharing, CPU time is divided among all the users on a schedule basis. It allows all user programs a brief share of CPU time in turn. Okay. Got it? Then in time sharing, the following three status groups are: first one is active, means the user program currently has control of the CPU. Ready means the user program is ready to continue but waiting for turn to get the attention of CPU. And wait means the user waiting for some input output operations. Okay. So in this session we learn about multi-programming, then file organization, scheduling, priority, multitasking, multi-threading and time sharing. Okay. So dear student, I hope you like this session. In the next session we will go for further things. Thank you.